loves, welcome to another episode of Coffee Chats, a series of alternative perspectives. Before we get into today's episode, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of you who contributed to last week's episode in the comments. Greatly appreciated. As normal, I've selected 2, and here they are. This comment comes from Heather Gillespie 4904, who says, "Hey Chez, vanilla Coke." Oh yeah, vanilla Coke, love that. "I have always felt different and apart from most people. Now I embrace it. My advice to Corinne would be to explore, find and deep dive into activities and subjects that she likes. Finding her passions will inform her authenticity. She will then find communities of like-minded people. Working on things you love can fill your life." This comment comes from Dolores Williams 6826, who says, "I am the middle child. My older brother was blonde when he was born. I had red fine kinky hair. My younger sister had flowing hair. I never felt different, so as I grew up, I felt part of and was never left out. I am a happy black woman who now lives in a Latin neighborhood in Florida. I have a son who is biracial, half Irish. He has never had that problem because he looks more Latin and has no problems with not fitting in. I guess if you come from a family that is comfortable in their skin, it makes a difference." Next, I want you to share with me your beverage of choice today. It's a cappuccino right now for me because it's quite late while I'm doing this video and I need to keep awake. In today's episode, I wanted to explore the consequences of rejection, just based on some observations I've made. So let's watch this next clip and I'll come back with my thoughts.
Oh, tonight's going to be amazing. Joe, you're going to come out tonight? You're going to come out to the work drinks, yeah?
Sorry, guys, I'm not actually going to make it tonight.
Oh, come on! What do you mean you're not going to make it? Come on! Don't be so stupid, come on!
I've just got so much on, I know, sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm just not going to make it.
But Joseph,
tonight.
don't you want to come and join us?
Guys,
Don't be such a loser.
okay, I'll spell it out for you. I don't like you enough. Yeah. I don't like you enough. I don't.
That's not very nice at all.
Spend it with my family, right? I don't want to be there.
Gosh, that's
just go on your work, drink some bounce, man.
I'm gonna report you to HR because this is just like. Why does he hate us, Joseph? That's not very nice.
Not all comedy is funny, but what I found is that the most hilarious comedy is the most relatable comedy. I've been in this position before. After work drinks in the UK, in the big cities, this is standard. This is a standard practice. When you're young, free and single, after work drinks are something to look forward to. When you're married, you have kids, after work drinks becomes a headache. It's a chore. It's something you no longer enjoy. You don't really want to be around these people that you spend 7 to 8 hours a day, 5 days a week with. You just want to get home. And even if you do go with them, not only do they want you to be there, they want you to drink alcohol. I've been in a situation where I've reluctantly gone to after work drinks and I've just said I want an orange juice or a Coke. "Oh, why are you not drinking?" "I don't trust you because you don't drink alcohol." That's what I've been told before. So it's not enough that I actually turned up, but you now want me to get drunk. If you now decide that you don't want to engage in this activity, you will be viewed very differently, because as far as your co-workers are concerned, you are now rejecting them and they don't like rejection. They will make you know very quickly that they do not like rejection, because you will no longer be included in office activities and you'll no longer be included in the office banter. When you walk into a room, everyone becomes quiet and the laughter stops, because as far as they're concerned, you rejected them. And even if you listen back to that clip I just played, you can hear one of the colleagues really upset and says, "Why does he hate us?" And in my mind, that's how the UK feels about Meghan. I remember when people felt so aggrieved when they found out that she was waiting for Harry in Heathrow Airport in a lounge when he was visiting, and they were on their way to, I think it was Dusseldorf for the Invictus Games. I could be wrong because my memory escapes me right now, guys. You'll know more than me. Today is Tuesday, the 4th of March, and since 6 o'clock this morning, guys, all the way up to the evening news, apart from the news about Ukraine and what Trump is doing, the other subject, the talking point, has been Meghan's show, which premiered on Netflix.
So, to move on, the Duchess of Sussex's newest project, a TV series called With Love, Meghan, has just in the last 20 minutes landed on Netflix. And apparently it sees her crafting and cooking and fruit arranging and working with famous chefs.
The 8-part series is a platform to help launch her new commercial brand, which is As Ever. That's what it's called. It's called As Ever.
Okay.
And we'll promote jams and cookbooks. Right, we've been waiting for this.
Oh my gosh.
It only dropped on Netflix 21 minutes ago. So let's see a clip.
Manifest away.
You see where our rainbow is coming together here? And you don't have to do a big platter of this. You could do this with one small row for your kids for breakfast, genuinely, and it makes the morning a lot more fun. It's a real delight in being able to be a present parent. And it's a luxury sometimes because we all have to work. We all have a lot of stuff to do, but when you can take a minute to just...
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So we're joined in the studio by journalist and royal commentator Afia Hagen, who says the new show is going to be a hit. I think we can all agree it's going to be a hit because everyone's going to be watching.
Exactly.
From LA, royal commentator and podcaster Kinsey Schofield says it's a new way for Meghan to make some money. I think we can all agree it is definitely a way to make some money. Right, Afia.
Yes.
You are a fan anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
You've managed to watch.
Yes, I've been speed watching.
Tell me.
So it opens actually with beekeeping, and we know that Meghan keeps bees.
With beekeeping?
Beekeeping.
I didn't know that
Yes.
Meghan kept bees.
So
Really?
we see Meghan doing some beekeeping.
As ever, beekeeping.
As ever, beekeeping there.
Been beekeeping for lots of years.
For a few years, yes.
Oh,
and that
okay.
takes place in her garden.
Okay.
And then she moves into the house. Now, she makes it known from the very beginning, as she did in the People interview yesterday. And she says while she is making the next thing, it doesn't actually start with cooking. We've got beekeeping, and then she's making bath salts for a friend who's coming to stay. And that friend is Daniel Martin, someone who's her makeup artist. They've been friends for about 15 years or something.
She's making bath salts.
She's making bath salts, yeah. So she gets some Epsom
why?
salts because he's coming to stay, and that's what she loves to do.
She loves to make bath salts.
She's very into these type of things. She's very lifestyle-y. That's what she does, you know. She's had the blog.
She's a
The
female
Take.
founder.
Yeah, that's what she is. Yes, she is. And she's had that blog, The Take,
By
since
the way, I don't know what that means, but
2014.
she is one.
It's just a female who starts a brand. That's a
brand.
brand.
So,
I did
see.
point out, Ed, the clue is in the 2 words.
Yes.
I thought it was about bath salts.
No.
Bees.
Right,
Well-
Ed, can we just hear from Afia just for a moment?
Thank you,
Thank
Suzanne.
you.
Thank you very much.
Continue
Yes.
with what we're
Look,
saying.
I was so fascinated by this.
Yeah, but if you
Intrigued.
listen, then you can find out.
intrigued.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'll talk to you, Suzanne.
Thank you, yeah.
So she is beekeeping, then she's making bath salts for her friend Daniel, who's coming to stay, then she's making a pasta for him. That's how much I managed to get into.
Right, because you
before I
only
came
had
to
20
talk
minutes to
yes.
watch.
What's in the
But she
pasta?
also, the pasta has tomatoes, it has arugula, it has parmesan, a bit of water, mix it all. It's a one skillet recipe.
Does she actually mix it herself?
She does,
Oh.
shockingly, yes.
Amazing.
Kinsey Schofield, I think you're probably as sceptical as Ed about this. But Frank, look, we all... put aside any other considerations. I want to know what Meghan's life is like.
Why?
She's so intriguing.
Oh.
She's a controversial character. Of course she is. But she's married to a royal, and we want to know what this alternative parallel royal lifestyle is like in Montecito. That's what people are tuning in for, isn't it?
If that's what you're tuning in for, I think you might be a little bit disappointed, because I do think that it lacks authenticity. It's too controlled, too glossy, and too produced. But there's no question in my mind that this is primarily a PR exercise to change public perception, as she's been labeled a bully for the last 4 years, most recently in the January issue of Vanity Fair magazine. From what I've seen, if you like Meghan Markle, you will appreciate this access to her. And if you dislike Meghan Markle, I don't believe, from what I've seen so far, that this is going to change your mind.
I completely understand what you're saying and reflecting those allegations, which of course she completely denies. But I think people who don't like Meghan Markle will be watching this as much as people who do like
You're
her.
right.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's some of us might call it a morbid curiosity, but it was just like when she bumped Joe Rogan off of the podcast charts. When she had and launched her Archetypes podcast. There will be a lot of eyeballs on this show. There are people that are curious, what is life like for Meghan Markle today, 5 years after Megxit? But I don't know, based on what I've seen so far, if it's going to hold people's attention spans. It's almost like she took TikTok or Pinterest content, and instead of doing quick, the kind of quick content we're used to on those platforms, she expanded it, which almost feels backwards when it comes to the content we consume today.
I mean, I think that's laughable, because TV programs in the formats of half an hour or an hour or whatever have existed for years and will exist for years, and that's exactly what that is. And I think sort of to say that she hasn't expanded TikTok content is frankly ridiculous.
But Afia, look, I actually like Meghan Markle. I think she's a great actress. I think she was great in Suits. I mean, actually, her going back into the new series of Suits would be really good. I think she's been a pioneer and a role model. But this construction of fruit arranging and bath salt making, I mean, it's just so fake.
What is it about it that's fake? I mean, if someone genuinely likes making pasta, arranging fruit, and arranging bath salts, and has written a blog about the things that she enjoys creating for years, and now has the opportunity through a multi-million-dollar Netflix deal to lean into something that they want to do and create a TV show about it, if that's what they love and they're doing it authentically and genuinely in, an hour-long program and not in TikTok videos like someone thinks they should, why should they do that?
So you are telling me that authentically she's been making bath salts for decades?
Literally, have you
I
ever read The Tick? Have you ever read her blog? This is something that she's been doing for years and she's leaning into. And I think that if you liked her stuff that she did with The Tick, then you'll appreciate that and you'll appreciate this show. And if you didn't and you just like nice lifestyle content, you'll appreciate it as well.
I feel like it's sort of indulging in a glossy magazine. I mean, I can see, a lot of people do produce magazine. Oprah, for instance, has O Magazine. I can see that this is, Kinsey, her sort of opening the glossy pages. I actually don't care if she's been doing this for years or not. I just want to see her do it.
Yeah, well, I think that, especially when it comes to the royal family, success for Meghan Markle is nothing but amazing. I think that the royals likely hope that she does succeed in this arena, because the more she succeeds and finds success, she's going to continue to chase that direction. If she succeeds in this and becomes a lifestyle host and a lifestyle content creator, then that means there's not going to be another Spare or another Oprah sit down, and she will likely continue to focus on these positive things. So I agree that there are going to be a lot of people really want this to work for her.
Yeah. All right, Kinsey, thank you so much. Afia, thank you so much. The devil will be in the ratings, won't it? If people watch, and I think a ton of people are going to watch.
May it work.
Yes, indeed. Right, Lorraine is going to be watching.
I think people will be watching. It's not my kind of thing. It really isn't. Genuinely, it's not, because I've not got time to make rainbow fruit and stuff like that.
Have you ever made bath salts?
No.
Why would you make them? Just go and buy them.
I know. But having said that, I think there is something in watching somebody doing something that you can't do yourself.
Have you ever arranged fruit?
No.
It's really hard, I bet.
I haven't done anything like that.
It's just half a
I'm a
circle.
failure as a trad wife. I'm a failure.
She puts yogurt on a plate. On a TV. It's amazing. I really want to watch that because, I mean, how can you do that?
It's like them that like it will like it, them that don't will watch it to don't like it. Do you know what I mean?
No, but I think people who don't like it, I think Ed's going to watch.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Ed is absolutely sending
What
this
can
up.
you do with dried flour sprinkles?
Well,
I wouldn't be putting
Meghan will
dried
tell you.
flowers on things.
what
We
have
don't
you
have
got?
time to do it all, but then maybe we can just watch it being done in a beautiful fashion, and it's aspiring, and we're never ever going to do it, but there we are.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown as well.
That's the point. It will be.
We will be. That's the thing.
You could clearly hear this panel making a mockery of Meghan. They couldn't wait for the opportunity to trash her show. Even in an earlier segment, Susanna Reid said, "We've got people watching, so you don't have to." I mean, what is the point of all of this? The only person who was in Meghan's corner was Afua Hagen. And at every given opportunity, Ed Balls tried to cut her off, didn't want her to talk. And then you have Kinsey Schofield adding her worthless contribution. Throughout the snippets that I'd heard in these programs, the general view was that Meghan's show has no substance. It's not delivering what they thought it was going to deliver, and in my humble opinion, the reason they've said that is because they were waiting for something controversial to come from Meghan's mouth regarding the royal family, because it was noted that she didn't mention the royal family. Why is she going to mention the royal family on a show that is about how she lives her life in California? Does that even make sense? Why would she do that? And, you know, Kinsey Schofield also saying, we all hope it's successful, so she stops talking about the royal family. As far as I can recall, Meghan hasn't spoken about the royal family since the Oprah interview in 2021. I believe that was March 2021. That's 4 years ago. And the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary, I believe at the end of 2022. So that's just over 2 years ago. Why do these broadcasters want Meghan to continually talk about something that she's moved on from? We've moved on from that, people. They are the ones who are stuck in the past, these broadcasters. And the last time I checked, it was Harry that was the author of Spare, not Meghan. They have an obsession with the Duchess of Sussex, and it's inexplicable, it's irrational, and it won't stop, because everything she does, like I said, they, whether they realise it or not, are giving her free publicity. She doesn't need to worry about stuff like that. The best course of action for them to take would be to actually focus on the Princess of Wales, the future Queen. But they can't do that because there's nothing to focus on. Now, someone needs to help me. I'm going to ask the question again, which I've been asking since I've been doing YouTube. What did she do? What did she do that was so wrong? Meghan's haters cannot specify exactly what she did wrong, because if they could, they'd have to be reminded about the actual shame and disgrace that other royal wives have brought to the institution. I would suggest that what Meghan's detractors actually have a problem with is that she is not conforming to their idea of what a royal wife should be. In addition to them being disapproving about her hereditary attributes, they don't like the fact that she's self-made, they don't like the fact that she's articulate, they don't like the fact that she's accomplished, and they sure as heck don't like the fact that she has and has always had her own way of doing things. They expected her to stay trapped. They expected her to concede. They expected her to crumble. So her refusal to conform, to stay trapped, to concede and to crumble is viewed by them as her rejection of them. Now, the British by and large still have a collectively imperialist mindset, and the thought of the establishment being rejected by the likes of Meghan is an absolute affront. How dare she reject Great Britain, is what they think. Who does she think she is? She is not allowed to live a happy life. We expect her and Harry to live a miserable existence at our financial expense, just like the rest of the royal family. Now, as far as I'm concerned, British society lives under a cloud of hypnotic delusion driven by an unscrupulous media machine who have mastered the art of brainwashing its consumers. Influence in the 21st century is the currency that Meghan's detractors are afraid she has way too much of, which is why they must make it their mission to tear her down at every given opportunity. Now, the accusation has been levelled, well, I don't know whether it's an accusation, but the general consensus is that people don't want to watch this type of content because it's unrelatable and it's unrealistic. When I heard that today, I had to laugh. There are a number of influencers on social media who actually live this life. One example is Lydia Millen. Now, I've been following Lydia since, let me say, the middle of 2021. And the only reason I started following her was because of her gardening content, regardless of the fact that I've not had a garden since my daughter was a baby, and that was over 20 years ago. I just love her content. She lives in a rural community outside of London. She has a big house. She has a massive garden. Her and her husband eat organically. They grow their own vegetables and herbs. They keep bees. They have chickens. They eat the hens' eggs regularly. She's written a book. This is her life. And what's interesting to note about Lydia is she's a fan of Kate, but she also likes Meghan. And when she's brought up on her channel the fact of how unfairly Meghan is treated, she gets crucified in her comment section and she loses a number of subscribers. Lydia herself has been bullied online many times over the years. Some of the comments I've seen have been absolutely disgusting. So she has a lot of empathy for Meghan. And I don't know why, well, I do know why Lydia gets bullied online. And it all comes down to jealousy. That is all it is. It's always jealousy. And some women have admitted, it's always women, some women have admitted in the comments that they find her content triggering because it highlights the fact that she has what they will never have. I just found it so interesting. And she has to edit herself a lot of the time. She has to apologise. Not that she has to, but she feels the need to apologise for her life. And I don't think she should. I don't think anybody who's living an affluent lifestyle or an aspirational lifestyle should ever apologise for that. If you've worked for that, enjoy that. So when you hear the likes of Lorraine Kelly, who actually gets on my nerves, saying that This is totally unrelatable. Maybe it's unrelatable for you, Lorraine, but Lydia is not the only person who lives like that. There are hundreds of women, hundreds of people, regardless of whether they're on social media or not, who actually do live like this, and they can relate. And regardless of what you think, there are those of us who actually enjoy watching that content. Influence, like I said, is the currency that they don't want Meghan to have. They think she has too much of it. They think that she just started this the other day. She's been doing this for quite a while. But they want you to think that she's just jumped on a bandwagon. That's why they mention Pamela Anderson. I didn't know Pamela Anderson had a show like that until the launch of Meghan's Netflix show. Why wasn't that mentioned before? They love to compare her to other people. Since Kate's been making this jam since 2012, how come we've not heard about that till last week? Why don't you focus on that? Why don't you do a broadcast piece on her? Because there's nothing to broadcast. Anyway, guys, I'm going to turn it over to you now. What I'm interested in is what you thought about at least the first episode of Meghan's show. Now, I haven't had a chance to watch it because I've literally been out all day and I'm only recording this video now. It's quite late, so I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I want to binge. I don't just want to watch the first episode, so I need to block out some time to watch, and I think I might do that tomorrow. But in the meantime, let me know what you thought. What were your favourite bits? What were the bits that made you smile? What were the bits that you could incorporate into your life, if at all? Or was it purely escapism for you? Feel free to add other comments regarding today's episode. If you don't necessarily want to leave any views about Meghan's show, but as always, keep it respectful, which I know my house guests will. And even if you're not a house guest, you're just visiting, the expectation is that you also keep it respectful. That will be greatly appreciated. As always, I will select 2 comments and feature them in the next episode. In the meantime, guys, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for meeting me for coffee today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we shall catch up again very soon.